Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Small Screen Live. I hope you guys are doing well. Before I get into saying hello to everybody in the comments, I want to remind everybody that if you can't catch this live, you can either watch it on Small Screen Live's YouTube channel, or you can also listen to it as a podcast, the Small Screen Podcast. James gets up there very quickly, and that's brilliant. And we've got a really cool show for you guys. We're going to be talking about The Flash. We're going to be talking about Warner Brothers. We're going to be talking about Secret Invasion, Philip Marlowe, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We'll probably chat a little bit about James Gunn as well, and all things Twilight as well. We'll chat about that at the end. How is everybody in the chat? I hope you guys are all doing very well. And we've got Roberta Bobby Anderson in the chat saying, hi, everybody. Bobby, I'm playing Animal Crossing again, and so is my wife. We're very much into it. She's really into it. She probably needs some help, actually, with her island. I'm okay, but she'll probably need some help. Who else do we have in the chat? We have your boy Styles saying hello. Oh, hi. I hope you're doing very well.
It was his birthday on Friday.
Oh, yes, and it's a very special Valentine's Day edition. There you go. That was a special gift to everybody. Oh, James. Oh, dear. Yes. hello to everybody, and I'm sorry about that. Coach Goody 421, the 421st Coach Goody, I presume, says this can't start soon enough. I'll try to be patient though. Oh, that's very kind. We're here now. We're getting going. Your boy Styles saying I'm so pumped. I hope you guys in the chat are all doing very well. I've got Patrick saying hi to me, James, and Shaun. Hello to yourself. And Dan Zig, 1979, the 1979th Dan Zig. I don't know why I make that joke all the time. It's a bit annoying, but he's saying hello. I hope you're doing very well, Dan Zig. And Shaun Soundtracks is saying hello to Bobby as well. Right, should we bring in? Stay Lifted. Barry's there as well. He's on Twitch. Oh, we've got someone watching on Twitch. I hope you're doing well over there on Twitch. I think you're the only person watching over there. Should we get James and Shaun in? We're all here this week. Greetings. How are you guys doing?
I've got two things to say to start off. First of all, I'd like to thank my daughter for giving me this awesome Jor-El T-shirt for Christmas.
Cool. Nice.
And secondly, Edward, was that picture, that hair, was that from when you were on tour with NKOTB?
Oh dear. I was actually I took that video in Amsterdam because James was like, I need a video of you winking at the camera
and giving a thumbs up
and giving a thumbs up, and I was already in bed. So I just did it in bed, and then he saved it. He's not used it for anything.
He saves everything.
I know.
Yeah, you send me something, I'll probably end up using it. I was like, oh, this is a nice Instagram boyfriend video you sent me, Edward. I gotta save this.
Very dangerous.
I told Tom Mason that I'm like a hoarder with ideas, and James is like a digital hoarder.
He is. That's exactly what he is. He will keep everything. And then he always knows when to use it and when to make you very embarrassed if it's something like that.
And he can find it when he wants to, which is really the most amazing thing.
Well, he is our very own Batman. He's just there in his bat cave. We'll just say, computer. Bring up the embarrassing video of Edward.
And the computer says, which
That wasn't me. That was my computer. You called me to do it.
What's Donnie Wahlberg really like it?
Yeah. Oh, he's nice guy. Have you ever?
I thought Edward was in the band 5 Pence Back.
This is going to be a very short show today, isn't it? I can already feel it.
Maybe for you.
Yeah, well, James was complaining the last week's show was too short.
Yeah,
I thought last week's show was the perfect length. Actually, I thought we got through everything very succinctly.
Got through it before I had to go pee, so that's great.
Exactly. Right now, God, this is not going to stop.
There we go.
Oh dear.
See, Barry's very excited. He's talking in all caps today.
I'm just here for the Color Me Bad references.
I got that joke. Sean.
Thank you.
Should we talk about the Flash?
Let's talk about the Flash.
Move away from that.
Did Shaun like the Flash trailer? Yes, Shaun did like the Flash trailer.
Oh my god, Shaun likes something DC related that's coming out. This is big.
I was really impressed with it. I thought it was coherent, and with all the talk about what's been going on, it seemed like they were actually like weaving things together interesting, and in an interesting way, which was surprising.
James is laughing.
Blame it on James.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh. Anyways,
I knew that was going to derail the whole show. When James showed it to me before, and he's like, "I wanted to keep this a secret, but I'm going to show it to you. I want to see how Shaun reacts." I'm like, in my head, I was thinking, "Well, Shaun's going to laugh, but then there's going to be about 10 comments all about this thing. It's never going to bloody stop."
I'm disappointed because it didn't segue into my dick in a box video.
better than no comments.
It's true. That is true. Yeah, but the so Shaun, the Flash trailer, you liked it?
Yeah. Yeah. Who wouldn't? I mean, Ezra Miller has dodged criminal arrest and seems to be charming in the trailer.
Yeah, that is true. I watching the trailer, I was kind of like, I understand now why Warner Brothers was so desperate not to cancel this movie. When you get, I mean, I suppose for me, the big part of the trailer was Michael Keaton's Batman. And that was the thing that really kept me going, like in that trailer, because I'm gonna be honest. The first part of it, I was like, well, they're just doing Flashpoint again.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, fine. You kind of already know what the story's going to be, but there was something about the kind of almost like the nod and a wink, like the knowing kind of aura that Michael Keaton has about him, that you're like, yeah, this is going to be a bit different. And also, there seems to be a lot more of Michael Keaton in this film than I expected.
Right?
Judging by the trailer, at least.
They're making up for Batgirl, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right. I don't like going to theaters just because of my anxiety issues, but man, I would have loved to have been in the theater to hear what the reaction was the first time Keaton said, "Yeah, I'm Batman." I mean, because I almost jumped up when I heard it. I'm old, so that my knees hurt.
You don't have to be old for that. I enjoyed the trailer. What I really liked in the trailer was, well, yeah, you get the shot of the house and then the street, like in the Flash series where his mom died, and then they did the Flashpoint. And it was a nice nod to that. But I liked the whole gave me Inception vibes of freeing Kara, Supergirl, Superwoman, on the Arctic Mountain base where they're freeing her from, and there's a big fight scene that gave me Inception vibes. And I love scenery like that. It's nice, open and bright, and you have all these guards coming at you. I really like that. But what I liked the best was the Super Bowl TV spot. It was minimal sound.
I haven't seen that.
Minimal sound design, minimal dialogue up until the Batman part. And I was just like, that's how you cut a teaser. I always love that kind of stuff. So, and then the Flash suit, the first opening shot, I wasn't a big fan of it. It reminded me of the Green Lantern. But I'm like, okay, they have time to work on that. But then there was the one shot of the Flash outside his house, and then he's like long and slinky, and it reminded me of the JLU Flash, and that really sold me on it. I liked it. And someone asked, who the villain is gonna be. Not sure who the baddie is. Shaun Soundtrack said it's gonna be the Flash. It's gonna be like, damn it, Barry, you screwed it up again, just like in the TV show. It's gonna keep screwing it up.
Yeah, I find that more interesting.
Yeah,
Barry's his own worst enemy. That's a really interesting take on it.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard a lot of stuff about who's going to be the villain in this. A lot of people have said there's a third version of Barry that's like did try to do it all before the version that we know is doing it. Like a dark Flash is something I've heard about.
Yeah, Dark Flash I heard about, and everyone's saying they want Savitar instead of Dark Flash. I don't know if you remember who Savitar is from the Flash show or the TV from the comic book. Yeah. And then there's Thawne, Eobard Thawne.
I do wonder whether Reverse Flash will play some sort of role in the movie more towards the end, though, as in they'll hint at it for a future film. Because I get the feeling they're gonna carry on with Ezra Miller as the Flash, mainly because he's kind of managed. Sorry, they have kind of managed to get through this quagmire of legal issues. And it seems as though, I mean, even though the poster didn't actually show their face, the trailer is very. I mean, there are two versions of Barry Allen in this trailer, so it's very much Ezra Miller fronted movie. I like their version of Barry Allen. I think it's a good version. I think it's an interesting one. I think we're going to get to see Ezra play very different Barrys in this movie. I'm not even sure if the second Barry is actually a superpowered being. At the beginning, it kind of seems like he won't be, and then there's a scene at the end of the trailer where you do see two Flashes, but
2 feet.
Yeah, the 2 feet coming together.
Superpower twins activate.
Yeah,
activate.
Yeah. Well, there are the Tornado twins, which are Barry Allen's descendants in the Legion of Superheroes timeline. The nerd said.
Yeah. But honestly, go on, Shaun.
Well, I think the idea of Barry being the Reverse Flash is interesting and sort of a surprise that there's one from another dimension who's evil. And while these Barrys are trying to fix things, he's running around actually trying to screw things up. That would be kind of interesting.
I think so. I think there's a lot in this movie that, the trailer only really scratches the surface of it. We get to see a lot of moments in the film that might be quite fan servicey. So, like Michael Keaton coming back, Ben Affleck's Batman coming back. I actually wanted to get your opinion, both James and Shaun, on Ben Affleck's Batman wearing a bra.
It's the armor chest plate. It's just an armor chest plate, and but once, like Shaun says, once you put Batman in armor, it's not Batman
anymore.
But I know. I think the blue and gray looks great. It's good to see that. And I like the shot of all the bat suits that Keaton has from all the iterations. But yeah, I'm all down for Batfleck, and I think that's Batfleck on the Bat Pod. But if that was Christian Bale, if they add that in later, that'll be hilarious.
It put me in mind of that thing that football players wear that tracks their telemetry for the team.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I think is an element that people on Twitter are getting very weird about that whole moment, which I was a bit like.
Well, the one thing I put on Facebook today is like there's going to be people who are going to be fighting to find something to get angry about in this trailer.
Yeah.
One of my friends wrote, "It must be exhausting being angry at finding everything to be angry about."
It's true.
Hey, what's up, Baker Town?
Baker Town's here. James, you mentioned something quite interesting about Christian Bale. So there have been a lot of rumors spread by a certain scooper online who will go unnamed. Actually, well, the rumor was that there's going to be a third Batman in this movie, and it's going to be one of the original actors that played Batman. So either Val Kilmer, now I'm pretty sure Val Kilmer's out,
right?
George Clooney could be, or Christian Bale. So the reason a lot of people were saying George Clooney was because Christian Bale has said on multiple occasions that he'll only play Batman again if Christopher Nolan's involved.
Right.
But he also said he'll never be in another superhero movie again, and then he's playing Gore the God Butcher in Thor: Love and Thunder, and then he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize this was a superhero movie. I'm sorry about that." Yes, when you pay him enough money, he'll turn up to do something.
Yeah.
So do you think a third version of Batman's going to be in this film, and is it needed?
Well, there's a rumor that came out today that Clooney's going to be playing Bruce Wayne and not Batman, so he might make a cameo like that. I was trying to think, because Warner Brothers is trying to merge all the universes, like the Batman timelines together. They did it in the CW crossover. They said, okay, well, Batman 1989 is on this Earth and blah, blah, blah. So I was thinking, well, maybe Batfleck is an older Christian Bale, but then that wouldn't make sense. unless he came out of retirement. Then he got his Robin and Joker and all that stuff. It was just the Bat Pod that made me think of that. I do want to go back to really quickly the other Flash we were talking about. Stay left. It says he seems to have no powers till the lightning strike. You saw it in the trailer, the two Ezras, and then they're both getting hit by lightning.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of the Flashpoint animated series, trying to recreate that. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yep.
But anyways, I think maybe Christian Bale could show up, but at this point, I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm just going to enjoy the film, I think.
I'm actually looking forward to it, which is a surprise.
Well, this is the interesting thing, because there were two big comic book movie trailers were released on the same day at Super Bowl. One of them, they're both technically involving James Gunn. One of them was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and the other one was the Flash movie. And I was very much whelmed, like, I'm going to use that word, whelmed by the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer, because I was like, it looks like everything else we've ever seen from Marvel, this movie. There may be a bit more emotion in it, a bit more Chris Pratt trying to emote on screen. And then the Flash trailer really took me by surprise, because I wasn't expecting to get so excited for this film. I thought it was going to be good, but I'm also wondering whether a lot of it might be a bit like what happened with Spider-Man No Way Home.
I keep hearing about those comparisons, but I think it's going to be a different beast.
You reckon?
I think so. Probably in execution, more so than anything else. I mean, you're not going to have these Doctor Strange portals where everyone's going to show up whenever you want. Time travel and multiverse will be involved, of course, but there's going to be limitations and rules, I think, that they'll have to go through. Kind of like Flashpoint. But maybe Grant Gustin's the villain, right? Maybe he's like, I already screwed this up. I'm not letting you screw this up.
Tom Cavanaugh. Bring Tom Cavanaugh back.
Oh, I would love that cameo. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Underrated actor, actually, Tom Cavanaugh. He can do anything. Just watch
The
Flash, he can do everything.
Exactly. Yeah, he had his own series, called Ed. Do you ever see that, Shaun?
Yep. But the stuff on the Flash was he just dug in and created like 12 characters based on one guy, and it was super impressive.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I really liked about the trailer actually was getting to see Michael Keaton's Batman in sunlight, which is something I don't think you've ever seen before from the Tim Burton movies. Looks kind of strange. It's a good scene. Like, I like the fact, he lowers his hand, and then you see Sasha Calle's Supergirl behind him, who is another new character in this supposed DC universe. I think it does take quite a bit from the Flashpoint storyline, where it's Superman in the Flashpoint storyline, but it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? He's being held captive.
Yeah, with the red sun radiation by Lex Luthor.
Yeah. What did you make of the look of Supergirl in this trailer?
Boy, I thought it looked great, and seeing the set pictures, I was completely underwhelmed, and now I am beyond whelmed. I thought it looked really well. I thought what we saw of the action sequences with Supergirl was kind of what I always imagined a Kryptonian to be like. And she seems to have a purpose to be there. We're not just introducing another character to introduce another character. It seems like there's a logical reason for it. So I was really impressed with it. I was impressed with everything, actually, in the trailer.
That one line where Ezra says, "Because my mom lives here," that I was like, okay, we're getting this kind of acting. This is going to be good.
Yeah, and that's not Clark.
No. That was good too.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this film does, how it performs, because I've said it the whole time. I think this movie is going to do really well, not just because it looks really good, but also because of everything that's been going on with Ezra Miller. Yep. People are going to want to watch this movie. Yep. It's a very high profile actor at the moment, and people want to know what's going on
for all the wrong reasons. But people are going to want. I mean, there's going to be a huge curiosity factor just to see what he does and what they're going to do with him afterwards.
And it'll be interesting to see how the PR tour goes. if they let Ezra go and do some PR work, maybe that'll soften the blow, and maybe it'll warm the public up to Ezra a bit more, especially after this trailer.
One of the gossip sites I follow said, and they're usually fairly accurate, like 85% accurate, said that it's already pretty much been decided, very limited press for Ezra, and a hard lock on what kind of questions can be asked.
That wasn't a small screen, was it?
No, I said a site that I follow, not follow religiously.
Well done.
Thank you.
But no, I was very pleasantly surprised by this trailer. I really like Andy Muschietti. I think he's a good director as well. I liked the first It movie. I thought that was very good. I wasn't a massive fan of the second one. But he's another one of these directors that comes from a horror background, which is really interesting. A lot of them end up doing comic book movies, but he seems to know what he's doing. And there were reports that James Gunn already wants him to do another DC Comics movie. What would you think that would be?
Another Flash.
Another Flash. Do you reckon they're going to keep on going with the Flash?
Yeah. I think it's going to do so well that they're not going to be able to avoid it. They might find some way to get rid of Ezra, but I was thinking just now as we were talking, there's a very good chance that Mr. Miller is mentally ill, and perhaps they're getting him some treatment. Whether the treatment will stick or not, I don't know, but that could make a big difference.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is if Ezra continues to do well. Mm-hmm. And stays on that road, then I could see Ezra staying as the Flash in future iterations for sure. I think maybe, and Danzig asked, maybe Andy Muschietti would be director for Supergirl. I think he would be either for the Flash or maybe like an upcoming Justice League movie or something. Because it seems to be the norm. It's like if you have a director that makes a really good popular movie that brings in a lot of money at the beginning of these starts of the superhero franchises, kind of like the Russo brothers did with Winter Soldier, then they're going to go on to the bigger films. So I think it'd be another Flash or like a group film.
But let's not rush the group film this time. Let's get some good solid character films in there. Someone asked a minute ago what I have against Batman and armor, and just reiterating what I usually say is that once you put him in armor, to me, it's not Batman anymore, because I don't think Batman. My conception of the character that I worked on for years is that he doesn't give a damn if he lives or dies.
Mm-hmm. But what if he has a mission that he has to complete?
Doesn't he? He doesn't have to complete them all.
Yeah, but like, what if like the world's gonna end, and if he dies trying to save the world, then the world's gonna end. He's like, oh, I got to wear armor today, just because this is gonna be brutally dangerous, and I got to make sure the world doesn't end.
Well, then then I'm okay with armor, but it's got to be either rainbow colored or shaped like a giant kite.
No zebra suit.
No, the zebra suit or the bat underwater suit. That was one of my favorites.
Okay.
I like the fact that in this movie he's got a bat bra.
He's gonna finish taking on the Joker, and then he's heading over to play for Arsenal.
Yeah, it's very fluid Batman. It's good. That's what we need.
Well, stay lifted. Your conception of Batman is that he isn't suicidal; he's committed. I worked on the character for 20 years. My conception is, and I don't think he's suicidal. I just don't think he cares.
I think that's I agree. I don't think he cares if he lives or if he or dies.
And if you disagree, that's great. I don't think less of anybody for disagreeing, but that's just the character that I worked on for years. That's what
even in the new film with Pattinson, the Batman, he really didn't care.
No, he didn't care.
He'd go in like 20 guys after strolling a few blocks. He'll go and beat up 20 guys, right?
He was taking it easy. He wasn't exerting himself till he had to.
Yeah.
When you said Arsenal, I thought Sportsmaster's daughter. I was like, oh, that's funny.
No, now I'm like heading for some icicle or fiddler joke. So
it's a layer, Shaun. It's a layer.
I didn't even notice the sort of like bra thing until it was on Facebook today.
Yeah.
I just was watching the trailer. I mean, they really are. They're like spending a lot of time. Like James Gunn would have never put Batman in a bra, or more likely,
it's the other way around.
James Gunn would have made it a G cup.
I think they would have said Zack Snyder would have never put Batman in a bra. I'm pretty sure if Zack Snyder had it his way, he would have had Batman naked the whole movie, just running around. But,
with one of the leftover loincloths from 300 dyed black.
Exactly.
I didn't even know about any of the bra talk until I saw the article on Small Screen. I was like, wait, is this a thing now? People are actually talking about this?
Literally, go on Twitter, which I still have access to.
No thanks.
But only through Small Screen's thing, not my own. Still haven't been unbanned. God knows what happened there. But yeah, if you type in Batman bra, a lot of stuff comes up.
But why did you type it in though? Why do you do that to yourself?
It's Valentine's Day. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. I was very curious.
People get mad about this with Danzig. Yeah, Danzig has a good point. Nipples on the Batsuit in the Schumacher film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I still think Schumacher was done a disservice. Actually, that was not his movie that he wants to. I have a bit of a soft spot for those films that kind of brought me into the comic book movie genre. Those movies, I still have
Forever. What an experience in the theater! My heart was pounding, and then Batman and Robin is a good film to watch every once in a while when you want to have a laugh. Yeah.
It was Batman and Robin was the first Batman movie I ever watched in the cinema.
Oh,
and I remember,
wow.
Yeah, I remember sitting there being like, I don't want this movie to end. And then I rewatched it a couple of years ago, and I was like, this movie's way too long. So why did I just didn't want it to end, because to me it was kind of cool. You know, I can't remember how old I was, but I thought it was incredible.
They needed to cut 50% of the arms reaching for each other out of that movie. There's about a billion shots of that. We get it. Yeah. You guys are partners. Okay.
I really want to see Clooney come back as Batman. I really want to see that. I think I kind of want to see that more than Michael Keaton.
So they were talking about, I saw that in relation to something about introducing Damian. Did you guys see that?
Well, aren't they going to do that in The Brave and the Bold?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but somebody was talking about Clooney being Batman to introduce Damian, and that just didn't make any sense to me.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I have heard is that some people are saying that Michael Keaton's Batman in this movie is not the Batman that we know.
Thomas Wayne?
It's the Thomas Wayne.
I've heard, I think Zeus said that to me the other day.
That's pretty good guess though, from if you're going by the Flashpoint standard.
Yeah, because that is Flashpoint. Because in Flashpoint, he's Thomas Wayne. So Bruce dies.
Survived. Yeah.
So Bruce is killed. Thomas Wayne becomes the Batman, and Bruce's mother becomes the Joker.
Yeah. And they got to keep the pearl necklace.
Yes.
Does it still fall in slow motion? Because I need that in a Batman movie.
If they do that again, I will walk out. I'll be like, I've seen this way too many times.
If there isn't a pearl necklace falling in slow motion, it's just not Batman.
If there isn't another slow motion shot of someone, a hobo holding a sign saying "I tried," have you seen that in Justice League?
Oh
yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, the homeless guy that says "I tried," and
people still don't know whether that was Joss Whedon saying "I tried to make this movie good" or Zack Snyder saying "I tried to make this movie." People don't know who. I actually think it was a Joss Whedon thing. I think it might have been Joss Whedon that shot that in the end to put it in the movie, because I don't think it's in Zack Snyder's Justice League. But I'm pretty sure someone in the comments will clear that one up for us. But I still think that's hilarious.
No one really knows.
But that's one of those things that I distinctly remember seeing that the first time I watched the movie, because when going into it, I knew what was happening, what happened behind the scenes with that film.
Yeah,
and I was just like, this. well, who put this in? This is very on the nose.
See, I think it's Joss Whedon saying it because his name is on the screen at that same time.
Oh, is it
up here? Yeah,
I think it might be Joss Whedon that put that in there. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Oh God.
Wow, that's like a high school type thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw that, I was really shocked. I was like, this cannot be real. But yeah, it is. But we did. We should probably move on from. Don't Google power and pearl necklace. No, please don't. Maybe we should move away from the Flash. We are all very much interested in seeing that movie, I think, and excited about it. But I did mention this film earlier. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was the other big trailer, apart from Indiana Jones 5, which looks amazing, by the way. That Indiana Jones film.
Yeah.
But Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I don't think looks very good.
It's going to be sad. I think it looks good, but it's going to be very sad. It's going to be tough to watch.
I completely forgot about it until you just mentioned it. I remember I was watching the game. I saw it. I went, oh, this looks like the last two movies. And then the Flash trailer just completely popped out of my head until you mentioned it. So,
yeah.
My problem with the second Guardians was it was too much like the first.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I think these Guardians film, the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie was the film for me that changed the Marvel Cinematic Universe, brought it into what it kind of is now, where it's very jokey, it's quite jovial. There are moments of pathos. It's like it kind of had everything, that film, and it was a bit of the reason why people love it so much, which I do too, is because it was so different from what went before it, where it was the Marvel Cinematic Universe was quite serious. Before that, I think you had the Captain America, you had the Iron Man films. There were jokes in them, but they weren't quite on the same level as the first Guardians movie. It also had all the music and stuff like that, which people fell in love with.
Right.
But after 3 movies in, I think it's starting to become a bit old, that formula. And I still...
Well, that's why Chris Pratt's going to die.
I think they're all going to die. I don't think any of them are going to survive, apart from probably Gamora. Will probably be the only
for real, or just in the movie?
No, I think for real, because I'm pretty sure James Gunn has said this is it for a lot of these characters. James.
I'm still on camera.
Yeah, you are still on camera. I think he's also talked a lot about Rocket Raccoon or Rocket, saying that he's actually the lead character in this movie. I am not interested at all in what's the name of the supposed villain in this movie.
The
High Evolutionary?
Yeah.
The High Evolutionary. I think it's a bit of it's going to be a one and done sort of thing, isn't it? It's another one of those villains that's like it's going to be gone at the end of the movie.
I remember reading the comics, and it seemed like a great idea, and then it's just there's like no place to go with it, So human being evolves, becomes God, creates another Earth, and
it's Kang. It's just another Kang, really.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be like the first villain from Guardians of the Galaxy 1 with the dance-off?
I think there's going to be an element. Yeah, that I think we're not going to see him again. Also,
he might show up in Secret Wars, though. Like I could see him like teaming up with Kang and maybe Doom and Thanos, evil Iron Man, evil Captain America, Ambush Bug. Wait, wrong franchise.
Yeah.
Reverse Flash.
I just think this one of the main reasons why I think that might be it is because Gunn's probably he's not going to do anything else with the Marvel Cinematic Universe after this movie. And that actor, I'm forgetting his name, but he was in Peacemaker, wasn't he? And he was brought into the MCU by James Gunn, who's another one of his, another one of the actors that he likes working with constantly. I just think we're not going to. I think it's a bit like is it Lee Pace played the villain in the first movie?
Right.
Really good actor that they kind of wasted.
Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah, Ronan the Accuser.
And the guy who's playing the High Evolutionary, I can't pronounce his name. He's a really good British actor, but I'm not going to even try to pronounce the gentleman's name.
I can't even think of his name from off the top of my head, but I'm a bit worried about this movie. I'm going to be honest, because I'm also reading a lot of the reviews for Ant-Man 3, and a lot of people are saying the same thing. It's like it doesn't go far enough, and I really feel like these Marvel movies now are just not going far enough, and they need to think about doing something drastically different, like the first Guardians of the Galaxy was at the time. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Well, they were taking
Woody.
The first Marvel movies were all about taking risks, and now they've just become completely risk adverse. Even Guardians seemed like, I remember seeing the commercials for Guardians and thinking, oh, this might be the first Marvel movie that really bombs, and really being pleasantly surprised. It was a big risk in it, and it paid off for them.
Yeah. I'm a bit worried about it. I think James is right. It's going to be sad. I think people will die in it. I think it's
going to be a good movie.
I really hope it is. I really, really hope it is, because I love James Gunn and I like his movies. I liked the first two Guardians films. I thought the first one was marginally better than the second one, but I do understand people saying it's too much like the first one. It's just more of the same. Yeah. I feel like Gunn has had a lot of time to think about where this film will go, because he was taken off the movie because of tweets and brought back on. Apparently, they offered the movie to everybody, including Taika Waititi. Taika said no. No one can do this film but James Gunn. So I hope it's good, because it kind of has to be, and I think it'll be a nice send-off as well for everybody involved in the movie, and James Gunn as well, who's been a big part of the MCU. Yeah, and stay lifted productions. You're right. You can't cancel Gunn, but I mean, if it was something more than just some stupid tweets from years ago, then probably. But that was ridiculous. I remember that at the time.
I think they would have had to do an Edgar Wright thing and completely rework like they did Ant-Man after Edgar Wright left. You'd have to completely rework the franchise to move forward.
I mean, it just wouldn't have worked without him. I don't think the Ant-Man film did, though. Just.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to see what Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 is gonna. Ant-Man 3 is gonna be like. Well, my theory is that they got rid of Gunn before the Fox acquisition, so they wouldn't have any problems with FCC. I've said this before. And then once the acquisition went through, they rehired Gunn and brought him back into Disney.
Well, it wouldn't have anything to do with the FCC.
I don't think.
Yeah, that's airwaves.
Or the FTC.
FTC. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Last time we talked about this, I said FTC, and then you said no, it's FCC, and then you're like, wait, no, you're right, it's FTC. I remember it was on the podcast. So you screwed me up. It's your fault, Shaun. It's a layer, Shaun.
Edward and I have conversations about which things we're going to tell you you're saying wrong, and it's his turn. It's his turn next week, so just pay attention.
It doesn't matter. If I've been saying Frank Quietly since I was 8 years old, it's Frank Quietly to me in my brain.
Yeah, no, it is. It's Frank Quietly. Yes, it's Frank Quietly, because it's a play on quite frankly.
It's Frank Quietly. That's what my brain says since I was 8. You can't tell me anything different. Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. You say that all the time. You always say Henry Cavill. I remember listening to you on your own one of Jarbo's streams, and you were saying Cavill the whole time. And I was like, no one
tried to correct me, and I was like,
no one would dare correct you. No one would dare.
I think Jarbo did. He probably did a stream before, and I'm like, I don't care. It's Henry Cavill to me. I really don't care about pronunciations.
It took 3 months for me to start saying Premier League as opposed to Premier League.
Adobe Premiere.
I get told off by my dad all the time for saying words in like an American way. Like I say schedule, not schedule, because I think schedule is just stupid. It sounds stupid to me.
James, you say schedule, don't you?
Hell no.
No.
It's schedule.
No. I say schedule as well.
I'm gonna go drink some coffee in Toronto.
Every time I cross the 49th parallel, I start saying schedule just immediately.
I just think it makes you trying to sound like the Queen. It sounds a bit silly.
which trying to sound like a queen, which takes me back to my Kevin Spacey story.
Oh, go on then.
No, it was just laying there. I had to play it.
So Kevin Spacey doesn't like you. Is that it? Is that the story?
I'm apparently not attractive enough.
Well, he only likes attractive people.
Apparently.
That's very strange.
never. I got to sit in his office. He never made a pass at me. I'm hurt.
Oh dear. Well, stay lifted. Is that a Spacey quote? Oh dear. Everyone seems to have a Kevin Spacey story.
Yeah.
I've heard one in the past from people. James,
I'm going to take Baby Driver and cut out Christopher Plummer's head and paste it all over Kevin Spacey. And then I'm going to get Edward to dub his dialogue over his Matt Berry voice. And then I'll be able to watch Baby Driver again.
And it's such a shame. That's such a good movie. It's like, oh dear.
See, I was going to do exactly the opposite with Usual Suspects, and cut Christopher Plummer's head off and put it in there.
Can we still watch those? I don't know. I don't think so anymore.
I'm not ready yet. It's weird. It's like it's the one other actors, but like Kevin Spacey, I don't know. It's just I think it's because his delivery and like after learning about all that stuff and then going back and watching his performances, especially in Baby Driver, just like wow. Okay, no thank you.
Well, I mean, I live in France, so we all know how the French feel about that sort of thing. It's the only place in the world that will let Roman Polanski still work. So, yeah.
Lolita.
Well, James brought up. Moving on. James brought up something quite interesting about the Super Bowl trailers. Basically, said there was nothing for Secret Invasion, which is a Disney Plus show, Marvel show that's supposed to come out this year. We've seen one like snippet of it. I think it was like a sizzle reel of everything that's coming out.
We saw a trailer. There was a trailer.
Was it a trailer?
Was there a complete trailer for it, or was it just a...
Yeah, you guys want to watch it?
No, I'm good.
It's really good.
Well, I think that tells you what's going on. If do we want to watch it? No.
Well, we're gonna watch it.
Okay, we're gonna watch it. All right, fine. Let's watch it.
No, Bakertown. Kevin Spacey is not in the flesh.
Or if he was, he isn't anymore.
He's the Batman nobody's heard of yet.
Exactly.
Fury, we gotta be very careful now.
Is that it?
That's it.
Is that really it? That's it. That's not a trailer. No.
How much do you know about your security detail?
Oh.
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us.
Oh, it's the Queen.
And what is that?
You've been avoiding Earth. I have called for your help, and you've been pretty content to let those calls go straight to
an alien.
This is just the beginning.
Fury, we gotta be very careful now.
Yeah.
I'm getting Winter Soldier. Now that I've watched Andor, I'm getting Andor vibes too. I wonder if we got a copyright strike.
I probably did. I'm so fed up of hearing the same music in all these trailers. That it's like yeah, there's some guy on drums just going absolutely insane.
Yeah,
it's always the same.
It's like after Battlestar Galactica premiered and taiko drums were everywhere. It seems like everybody's just still jumping on that same sort of.
For me, it was the first time I kind of really paid attention to that sort of music was the Inception trailer when that came out. Yeah, and I remember one of my friends at the time, we just kept on making fun of this trailer because we were thinking, wouldn't it be funny if it's just the guy that did that music it was just Christopher Nolan going and then make it go backwards and then forwards again and then backwards.
It was one of our video essays that made a joke about the Hans Zimmer Brahms. I think it was in Dark Knight. Rises with Bane. Yeah. And then we put the Brahms over it, and you couldn't hear Tom Hardy speaking. Christopher Nolan's sound design, man.
It's so bad, but apparently that's what he wants it to be like. Apparently that's deliberate. He's like, I don't want people to be able to hear what's being said in my movies.
I want to force them to pay attention. So what we're getting at is that we were all completely underwhelmed by the trailer. Is that where we are?
I really liked the Secret Invasion trailer when it first came out. I was like, yes, I can't wait to see this. And then we heard nothing. And then Super Bowl, nothing. It's supposed to come out this spring.
Yeah, you think they'd be on top of that a little bit more. They'd want to punch it out a little more.
But
getting trailers to Super Bowl is quite expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, even put it out the next day.
Yeah, or at least put a trailer out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marvel doesn't need a Super Bowl to debut something to get it trending or anything like that.
Yeah. Maybe, they had the Guardians trailer. Maybe they could get a 2-for-1 special,
Maybe wait a couple weeks.
Maybe. Maybe they're all Philadelphia fans. Maybe that was it.
I don't even know. I have no idea who was in the Super Bowl.
No, neither do I. Sports ball, yay. But anyways, sorry to those football fans, but sorry, Shaun. But
yeah, I gotta go now because you don't like American football.
You gotta.
Do you think maybe has to do with the Iger shakeup and like the layoffs at Disney?
They're trying to spend less money because they've sacked everybody.
Do you think Secret Invasion is in trouble?
Or there was just a shakeup at TV, and they have to figure out what to do with this thing now. I mean, if there's that much of a course correction going on at Disney and Disney Plus, maybe they looked at this and it's their Batgirl.
Yeah, I hope not, because I really want to see this. I want to see a Samuel L. Jackson led series.
Yeah,
in the Marvel universe. Yeah, and Danzig says they didn't have a Mando trailer at Super Bowl either. Yes, but they put one out 3 weeks prior to that, though. March 1st, The Mandalorian comes out. I mean,
these TV shows don't need Super Bowl teasers. Let's be honest. It's like the film that really needed it was The Flash. That to me was
that
the
was a
film
smart
that really
move.
needed. Yeah, I think like everyone. I mean, it has been revealed actually that Disney Plus has lost 2 million subscribers from was it 2021? So since 2021, they've lost 2 million subscribers, which is a lot. This is the first time they've actually lost such a significant amount of subscribers. A lot of that, I think, is because it takes a long time for stuff to come out on Disney Plus, and the stuff that's coming out now is not very good. Like I was really excited, stupidly excited for the National Treasure series. It's terrible. It's awful.
Did you watch it?
I watched it. It's got Harvey Keitel in it for like the first two episodes, and it's got what's her face, Catherine Zeta-Jones in it. But the reason why you want to watch National Treasure is because you want to see Nicolas Cage back.
Yeah,
that's why you want that. You can't make, and the actors they got for that series were awful. And I just see a lot of they're cutting a lot of corners. But I do wonder whether I just think I'm hoping that this show will be good. This Secret Invasion show will be good. It's got a lot of great actors in it. Is it Emilia Clarke is very good. Olivia Colman's very good. Samuel L. Jackson's very good.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn's in it. It seems as though it's going to be a spy thriller type thing, which is what I kind of wanted Falcon and the Winter Soldier to be, which it just wasn't. So hopefully it'll be good. But I think Marvel Studios needs to be very careful because they're getting into very dangerous territory. I feel everything that's coming out is the same.
It feels like all the Disney Plus stuff is the same, and it feels like they're sausage grinding this stuff out. We need to get this stuff on the air, and we need more of it. So keep going. And it's interesting that the subscribers are dropping. They're doing that, and subscribers are dropping, which to me says people are not happy with what's on there.
Yeah, but isn't Disney changing plans now? Though they said they're not going to be oversaturating stuff by making new productions as much as they have in the last couple of years.
Yes. But then what's going to drive subscriptions? Because that's what's been driving subscriptions. And now the stuff not being that good seems like it's driving subscriptions away. I mean, what is unless you have little kids at home, what is the benefit of having Disney Plus?
Oh, you obviously didn't hear. You're asking this question, but you didn't hear the fact that they're making a series based off the Moped Gang and Book of Boba Fett. So that'll bring in a lot of subscriptions.
Well, I really, really, really want a Cortina. So that's all I have to say.
I mean, we all know
that's a Lembretta's reference for everybody old.
Well, they got Mandalorian season 3 coming out, Andor season 2 next year, the Ahsoka TV series, right? So like Star Wars will be doing fine, and as long as they don't have a misfire like Book of Boba Fett, and if Mandalorian season 3 is as good as season 1, then they should be okay, I think.
Right. So you're saying they'll stay with the Star Wars stuff, but they'll start putting brakes on the Disney stuff?
On the Marvel stuff, I think they will. Yeah. For TV shows, I think because they don't have any feature films of Star Wars in the pipeline, then they're okay to continue doing these live action series on Disney Plus for Star Wars. But because of the Marvel films are theatrical experiences, they're diluting the waters with these Disney Plus shows, and it's not a big event as much as it was. And I think they learned that lesson in Phase 4. So hopefully we'll get to see Secret Invasion.
I think that's a really good thing. I think Crystal has got a really good point too. When they do try something different, like the Eternals, people still complain.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like it, but I admired that they were willing to take that risk.
Yeah, same with me. I really like the cinematography and that direction that they were going with. But the film wasn't good. But I mean, we're in the darkest timeline right now. Everyone's going to complain about everything. I mean, Bat Bra, right? So.
They have a lot of other things in the pipeline there for Disney Plus. I think the Percy Jackson series is going to be a real sleeper hit. I think people will come to that because those books are very popular.
I hope so, because they screwed up those movies something awful.
The movies were very bad.
Yeah, my kid really dug those books and was horribly disappointed in the movies.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that series will bring in quite a lot of people. I cannot believe they greenlit a Willow series. I thought that was madness, and apparently it was really bad. I haven't seen a single episode of it, but I've heard lots of people say it's bad. Bakertown said it's
Bakertown's bad. Yeah. I was waiting to binge it, but I'm not even sure if I dedicate that time. I'll still continue watching season 3 of Law and Order.
I don't even remember if I've seen the original movie, to tell you the truth.
I haven't seen the original movie, so
that's great.
For me,
I was drinking so much when that came out that there's a good chance I saw it several times and don't remember it.
Bakertown says, "Go ahead, Edward."
I was going to say that Willow was quite. Go on.
We got a bit of a delay here, I think. Bakertown said Eternal should have been a show. Bakertown should have been says Eternal should have been a show, but we did have that. It was called The Inhumans.
Sorry, what did Bakertown say? I didn't catch that.
What'd you say?
Yeah, well, Eternals would have been interesting.
I need to see the Edward Valentine.
What's going on?
I need to see the Edward Valentine gif again.
Computer. Go on, Jay. Worst thing ever.
I think we should open the show with that every week.
Yes. I think I need to put that up on YouTube and social media after this.
Oh dear. Dan Zig wants to know, as a fellow Brit, thoughts on the Faulty Towers reboot. Utterly ridiculous.
Well, for God's sakes, I never thought it was possible for somebody to dance on their own grave, but apparently Cleese is going to really take a shot at doing that.
It's also nepotism, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's got his daughter in it.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's so, I just don't understand. When it was James that sent me that piece of news, and I was like, "What is going on?" I thought it was. I was like, "It's not April 1st." It's like it's ridiculous.
Right. It reminds me. There's a story about the Pythons having dinner, and Cleese just going on and on about like how much money he's getting paid to. Beyond Will and Grace and things like that, and just saying I can't turn these offers down. It's just so much money. I'd be crazy to stop it. I mean, they just throw money at me. And Terry Gilliam said, "How much would you take to shut the fuck up?"
That sounds like Gilliam.
But he was definitely the one that I think he was the one that wanted to leave the Pythons first.
Please.
Cleese, yeah, and you can tell just hearing him talk. He's like, by the end, I just didn't care anymore. I didn't think we wrote anything vaguely original in the last couple of years. And I was like, well, then fuck off. It's like go into. Yeah. I mean, I like Fawlty Towers. I think the original series is very good. It's very funny. It's a shame that some of the episodes can't be shown anymore, apparently, because they're offensive. Which they probably are, but they're products of the time. And I grew up watching those. I genuinely loved Fawlty Towers, and I also had it on audiobook. It's like the whole thing, which is very strange, but I had that and Blackadder on audiobook.
Was it one of those things, because that time the BBC would do a television show and also just record it and throw it on BBC Radio, because they did that with
it was that.
Dad's Army. Is that what they did?
Yeah, so that they did that with all their shows. So Blackadder, Dad's Army, Fawlty Towers, I had them all, and I just
like we do with our
podcast. Yeah, exactly.
Because I discovered Dad's Army that way, and I like, why is everybody crazy about this? Because it makes no goddamn sense on the radio. And then I saw an episode, like, oh, this is humorous.
My dad would love this episode. He loved that's what he loves. Dad's Army, Fawlty Towers, Monty Python. Monty Python's very popular in France as well, which is kind of odd.
Yeah,
they seem to love that humor.
Huge Python fan. Well, all the clips I put in our videos. But a recent interview, John Cleese, I think Seth Meyers asked him how it was filming Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and he goes, absolutely horrible. It was absolutely horrible. We're all cold. It's like -10. We're all wet and rainy, and we have to get the shots.
Well, did you tell the story about how they tried to get the money to get horses, and they couldn't get them?
So
that's why they used the coconuts.
Yeah.
That's genius. But honestly, I think a lot of the genius of Monty Python was mainly I'm forgetting his name now. The what's his name? I've completely blanked on his name.
Terry Jones, Graham Chapman.
Graham Chapman, I think, was behind quite a lot of it, and I think they kind of it could never. It was some of the stuff is a bit hit or miss, isn't it? Sometimes when you watch the actual sketch show, but the first two movies, so The Holy Grail and Life of Brian, were incredible. Like really, really brilliant. If you haven't watched those, you should watch them. They're really good.
Everything Monty Python put out was gold. Okay,
everything.
I was a kid when it started playing on PBS in the States, and I'd never heard of it. But my friend Steve Jarvis called me at 10:15 on a Sunday night and said, "You have to put on Channel 17 right now." And that was how I found Monty Python. And as soon as it was over, I called him. It's like we were like 12 or 13, like. These people are inside our heads.
Yeah. See, I was 9 years old, and my mom woke me up at 1 a.m. and said, "James, you got to come downstairs and watch this movie." I'm like, "What? I got school." "It's okay. Come watch this movie." And it was Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And right then and there, I was sold. And same thing with Blazing Saddles, and same thing with Dr. Strangelove. Yeah.
I still love the it's in the Holy Grail, isn't it? Where Graham Chapman's character is trying to. He's trying to get into the castle. The French thing is taken over by the French.
It's not me, Shaun. It's not you. It's Edward.
Okay.
Edward went in a tunnel somewhere.
I went in a tunnel, did I?
Yeah, there you are. Now you're
better
back.
Now
you're back.
Sorry, can you say that again?
No, I just remember watching. It was I think it was Graham Chapman played Arthur. I think.
Yeah.
King Arthur in the Holy Grail. And he's trying to get into this. It's a guard. I think it's been taken over by the French, and the French starts. It's like start throwing cows, and then Graham Chapman just walks away and just goes, "Just ignore them. Just ignore them." and living in France and watching that, I thought it was hilarious. And my dad, every time like a French person's mean to us, just goes, "Just ignore them. Just ignore them. Just walk away." I love that. I love Monty Python. Yeah, I'm not so keen on the last. The last movie wasn't so good. I think it's What was the last one called? I forget the name.
Now
of the last
for
one.
something completely different, and then there's The Meaning of Life.
The Meaning of Life was the one I'm not too keen on.
Oh, I think just because I think there's brilliant parts of that. I think every sperm is sacred.
Yeah.
And when I saw that first time, I hated the Mr. Creosote sketch. And every time I've seen it since then, every time I've seen it since then, it reduces me to tears. It's just when you get to Cleese with, "Would you like a mint? It's waffle thin," and I'm gone. I'm gone.
And the lead up too, with the waiter.
Yeah,
what's his name?
Yeah,
just walk. Here he takes him to the tree where he grew up as a kid, and then they walk down the street. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And there, Monty Python live at the Hollywood Rose Bowl.
At the Hollywood Bowl, yeah.
At the Hollywood Bowl, that was great. And John Cleese's as Little Red Riding Hood. Man, that cracks me up every time. Just going through the forest and smashing down trees and eating submarine. And
the Hollywood Bowl is where there are performances. The Rose Bowl is where we play American football.
Right. Okay.
I wouldn't know.
Sports ball.
I have a feeling actually that James Gunn has watched a lot of Monty Python. I think his humor, his humor is quite similar to Monty Python. I still think it's like my dad and I will quote Monty Python to each other. It's like, "He's not the Messiah; he's a very naughty boy." It's a lot of that stuff.
I think there's a lot of Mitchell and Webb in what he does too.
Yeah, that's true.
He's sort of contemporaneous with them, but they're sort of like on the same wavelength. I mean, even with the Mitchell and Webb full-length movie, the Magicians could easily be a James Gunn movie.
That could actually. God, there's so much Mitchell and Webb stuff that I find hilarious. I don't know if you've seen the Nazi sketch.
That is the most brilliant sketch written in the 21st century.
So good.
That is genius. And the more you watch,
are we the bad guys?
Baddies.
Like, what do you mean? It's like, well, have you seen our hats?
We've got skulls on them.
I love David Mitchell. I think David Mitchell's hilarious.
Kill the Poor is pretty funny too.
Yeah.
I know. I never seen it because I just looked it up.
Angel Summoner and BMX Bandit.
Oh God. Have you seen the one where David Mitchell kills everybody in a because a woman pronounces it H. It's like, excuse me, H. Bang. It's like, oh God, that honestly, that show is so good. That was such a good sketch show. That Mitchell and Webb look was very funny.
Also, there's a radio version too, which is not just the show recorded. They did I think 4 seasons. They do
something else. Wow.
They did 4 seasons on BBC. Some of it got translated on the television, some of it didn't. There's a brilliant one that riffs on 1984. It's just the funniest thing I've ever heard.
That. Because they also did Peep Show, which was very good as well. That was a really good show. Yeah, British comedy.
Hello, Room 101.
I think James now wants us to get onto some sort of onto the running order.
Do we want to talk about Marlowe?
I think we should at some point.
That'll get James's attention.
I was looking up Mitchell and Webb stuff so I can watch it later.
You'll like Mitchell and Webb, James. It's really good.
Yeah. I saw a few clips while you guys were talking. It's like, yeah, that seems like my jam. I'll definitely check it out. All right.
So this new movie's coming out.
The police won't touch you, but I will.
Teaser for a trailer.
Marlowe.
Los Angeles, a city of angels. More like the city of dirty little secrets. People pay me to look into the activities of its finest citizens. I'm a private detective. The name is Philip Marlowe.
No, it's not. Your name's Michael Collins.
Sorry, investigation, Mr. Marlowe.
What can I do for you?
I'd like you to find my lover. He disappeared without saying goodbye.
Did he have things to hide?
Haven't we all? What does my
What
daughter
did he win?
want?
Something?
My mother was
No idea.
She must think there's something between us.
I hear that you are looking for someone.
We're all looking for someone.
I'll pay you 1,000.
If you find him,
The puzzle has many pieces. I don't know what you're gonna find.
I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm not afraid to take you with me. I do like this thing about not being afraid. You should be.
Danny Houston.
They're all in on the conspiracy.
You'll keep looking because you can't stop.
The police won't touch you.
I like how Chief O'Brien from Deep 6 9 is in there. Call Meanie.
Who you do not mess with. They're top of the list.
That's someone to make Liam sound less Irish.
Yeah.
I have to ask myself, who wins, Mr. Marlowe? I will do everything to put you in jail.
A lot of John Wick lighting in this.
Oh God.
Your secrets?
You'll have to keep those too.
The stuff
Yeah,
people are
it
complaining
changes.
about. The stuff
Yeah.
that people are complaining about is all the wrong stuff to complain about with this movie.
Yeah, but-
Everyone's complaining that Liam Neeson's too old to play Philip Marlowe, and he's too old to keep playing these parts. I'm sorry, I have no problem believing that Liam Neeson could kick my ass and 6 other people's ass at the same time. That part I have no trouble buying. I don't have a problem with the Irish. His kind of accent is he's obviously trying to cover it up, and I do think that's why they put Cole Meany in it, because it's like Liam Neeson sounds like he's from Iowa next to Cole Meany, you know.
Yeah.
But
Edward, you're right. You were gonna say they completely switched vibes with the music at the end when the credits came up, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
The whole movie just looks like it's like taken downtown. It's like, and then at the end it's like it's like it's a film noir. It's like honestly, this. I'm gonna watch this and I'm probably gonna love it because I love all. I've got 2 actors I've got a serious soft spot for are Liam Neeson and Gerard Butler. They're both not, I think Liam Neeson is actually a very good actor. Gerard Butler, I'm not so sure on, but they're very good at this thing. This kind of action. I love action movies, the genre, and they're very good at them. They're very watchable. But this, because my knowledge of Philip Marlowe is pretty limited, I'm going to be honest with you. I know I watched The Long Goodbye, and I really loved that film. I thought it was great. Yeah, I know, Shaun, you're not a massive fan of it, but James and I are big fans of that, and I think Elliot Gould is terrific in this.
No,
Elliot Gould doing this?
I like the film. I just don't think it's Philip Marlowe, but I like the film itself. I think the film's a great picture of that time and that sort of like moment in American culture.
And a private eye in that time. Philip Marlowe in that time.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it's a good iteration of him.
And I think but I do think it sort of misses the point of what that story was about. But that's me. That's like Batman in armor stuff.
But
and I would like to claim I did play Philip Marlowe on stage once, so I do. There's what you're
talking about.
Well, there's a stage version of The Little Sister that the Steppenwolf Theater Company in Chicago created, and I did it here once. Why are you adapting The Black-Eyed Blonde? There's actually like real Philip Marlowe novels that were written by Raymond Chandler. Why are you not? Nobody's adapted one of those in ages. Why not just do that? Why get these like Chandler knockoffs?
Do you want to know how I feel about Marlowe?
Yeah.
All right, I'll show you.
Hey, Mrs. Wade.
This is a completely different vibe.
It's what, 71, 72, James?
72, yeah. 73. Sorry.
So long, goodbye. Your name, Marlowe?
My name is Sidney Jenkins.
Come on, let's go inside, Marlowe. We want to talk to you.
Oh, is this where I'm supposed to say, what is all this about? And he says, shut up, I asked the question.
Yeah, that's right. And it happens every day. Right profile.
Sit down. Sit down. What the hell are you doing here? That's right. I'm getting ready to sing Swan. Swan. How I love you. How you Jones?
When some passerby invites your eye to come her way.
There's gonna be a lot of people looking for me as a result of my lovely wife.
If he was a murderer, he murdered his wife.
That's a lie. I know he didn't kill her. He
I'll
couldn't
tell you
kill
something else.
anybody.
A minor crime, a misdemeanor to kill your wife. The major crime is he stole my money. Your friend stole my money, and the penalty for that is capital punishment.
Even as she smiles a quick hello, you let her go.
I like your face too. Could you find my husband?
Let the moment fly.
I'm a man cannot stand confinement.
The hell are you? Well, I'm this here private investigator who was sent here this afternoon.
Got his nose right up to the window.
It's not his business.
Write the check, Roger.
What check?
Write the check, Roger.
Hey, you turn your head. You know you said.
I think she doesn't use her mirrors at all.
Blair, you're a born loser.
What do you think?
Ow!
If you have any trouble, I'll back you up.
I have fresh evidence now for you to reopen the Terry Lennox case.
Everything about suicide, Marlboro. Me, I don't believe in it.
Don't you try to be nice to me now. I'm leaving and it's goodbye.
God, trailers used to be so weird.
It's like who could imagine not wanting to watch this movie after seeing this trailer?
It looks so exciting.
I think James is right. I think actually this is a more accurate and sensible version of the character than what we're seeing and we haven't seen the Liam Neeson movie yet, but Marlowe is a wise ass. Marlowe also spends more time getting beat up than he does beating people up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least that's the impression I got from watching Elliot Gould's version of the movie. He's a wise ass. He's a goofball as well in that movie. I'm not sure. It's the only Marlowe movie I've ever watched. I'm going to be completely honest.
Well, like the Robert Mitchum and then there was the Bogart one too, right, Shaun?
Well, there's a one called the Brazier Doubloon, I think, which is based on The High Window, and it's actually they bought the book and made it as a Mike Shane movie. There's the Bogart, The Big Sleep. There's Dick Powell in Murder My Sweet, which is the first version of Farewell My Lovely. There's a radio series and a 50s TV series, and then the one that really impacted me was the Robert Mitchum Farewell My Lovely, which came out in the 70s, and then he did a sequel to it in 79, which is The Big Sleep, which is a British movie directed by Michael Winner, we talked about last week. That's not very good. And then there's a TV series with there's a couple TV series. There's one with Powers. There's one with Stacey Keach. There's one with Stacey Keach, and there's one with Powers Booth. Yes.
Yeah, the only one I could find was a Stacey Keach one. I watched like 10 minutes. I'm like, no.
Yeah, those are adapting short stories that Chandler wrote early in his career, and then he cannibalized some of those and turned them into the novels. The thing is that, when to put my college professor hat on, Chandler's not an action writer. He's not really a detective story writer. He's a literary writer using the form of the detective story. So, it's not always stuff that's going to make for good movies. I mean, Hammett and Chandler were completely different than what anybody else was doing at that time. But, that's me being a cranky old fan pro.
Well, Philip Marlowe is not an action hero.
No, so he's
Liam Neeson beating up people and throwing chairs at them, and
he's even in the Robert Mitchum ones, and Mitchum's a great big guy like Liam Neeson. He gets the crap kicked out of him for Farewell My Lovely, but Marlowe keeps coming back for more. I mean, the thing is that Raymond Chandler's statement was that he's a knight whose armor is rusty but not gone, and he down these mean streets a man must go who is not himself mean. That's he's an isolated character, and The Long Goodbye is actually about him coming to terms with his isolation and deciding that his life needs to change. It's sort of a talk about what's going on in the United States, late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, and then the film he's like a man out of time.
Right. Yeah. Right, which is a really interesting choice.
Honestly, this film doesn't look like even with the limited knowledge that I have of Philip Marlowe as a character, this film does not look like a Philip Marlowe movie.
It's a Neil Jordan movie. It's Neil Jordan.
Well, I don't know, but who's Neil Jordan?
He did The Crying Game. He did The Crying Game, Interview with the Vampire, Michael Collins, Breakfast on Pluto.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's who wrote and directed this thing.
Okay. Well, I knew that he directed it. I didn't know what he did before. And I get the feeling, to me, it just looks like another kind of period Liam Neeson action movie where he's going around beating people up, smashing chairs on people, and going, I have a particular set of skills.
Yeah.
And all he does to someone else, how does he hide his Irish accent? He doesn't. He just goes into an even lower register.
Yeah.
What would have been great is if he was hunting for his daughter in Marlowe. In this film.
Well,
but why would he I mean, the idea that he needs to hide his accent is sort of like whether the character has an accent or not is sort of secondary. I mean, that's the hiding accent things in American movies lately, in television series, drives me crazy because Cary Grant obviously didn't have a career and he had a British accent. Nobody wanted to go see him in a movie.
It's true, and Liam Neeson does the same thing in every movie he's ever been in. Well, it is true.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Well, no, everyone wanted to see Cary Grant. Cary Grant was famous.
Yeah.
I know. I was. I heard. I'm tired. I was thinking everyone wanted to see Cary Grant, but no. With Liam Neeson now, he just does the same thing in every film he seems to be in. He hasn't really done anything, genuinely interesting in a long time. When it was first said that he was going to be doing this, I was thinking, oh, that sounds great. Let's get the film noir movie back into cinemas. This does not look like a film noir film to me. It just looks like another action movie. I think they probably, I'm going to be honest, I think they've cut the trailer to make it quite action heavy, to try and get people to see it. I think when we watch the movie, I bet you it'll be a very different film. I think the action set pieces will be few and far between. I bet you. I think this film I think it's a marketing ploy to get people into cinemas. I bet you people have been sold a film and then they'll come out of it going, "Oh, that was boring." And then we'll be like, "Oh, actually, that was quite good."
Yeah.
I bet you that's what's going to happen.
Next year we'll be on small screen talking about why the video release and how much we loved it and why didn't people pay more attention to this movie.
It's marketing.
That's after we see the Elliot Gould cameo, right? And then that'll just sell the whole movie.
That's what Danzig's talking about. Let's do the Philip Marlowe multiverse.
Yeah.
I watched a movie the other day that Elliot Gould turns up in. He's in for about 2 seconds. He's in You People on Netflix.
Oh, you watched that?
I watched that of it last night.
Oh,
you watched it?
Was it bad?
It's so bad. That movie is so bad. Yeah.
It's bad and offensive on almost every level.
Yeah. Wow. It really is bad.
But not good offensive like Blazing Saddles, but just
it's just bad.
Just making mistakes.
Yeah. And there's a CGI kiss at the end of the movie and it's very obvious. It's quite hilarious. Yeah. It's very funny.
That's a good article.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So before I think because I think Shaun probably has to go because he's a very busy man.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Twilight before.
I don't usually drink coffee before I go out on patrol. I mean, this suits a motherfucker to get off when you have to pee, and then there's my hands. You spend 30 years punching people and take collagen. That's supposed to be good for your joints.
It was exciting at first. You don't realize what's happening to you.
Switched to carbon fiber a few years ago. Otherwise.
Was he wearing that bodysuit thing? He always looked so hot in that.
I could have killed him, but no. The mask. I had to see what he was hiding.
This doesn't do shit to hide your identity. Fuck you, Zorro.
The plan that took him down was pretty simple.
I didn't think it was fair, really.
I thought he had a gun.
He couldn't think it through.
Twilight? Well, the name just came to me. It's I was going to be out mostly at night, and I wanted to be a night, night with a K. And night just sounded like something your mom says to you when she puts you to bed.
Wow.
Boom.
Talking about the music.
Hey now, hey.
That's just stock music. The trailer was very ably edited by our pal James here.
Yes. Very, very good. Very good stuff. Good. Yeah, I honestly, best line I think of the year. Night is just something your mum says to put you to bed. I love that line.
That's a great line.
It's such a good line.
And you were, I've seen it. It's okay to say that.
Yeah.
You were so good in it, Shaun. I can't wait till people can see it publicly.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really surprised me. I didn't think you were going to be starring. You didn't tell anyone you were starring in it until after
James,
it was
I
done.
thought you were going to. I was really surprised. I thought you were going to be bad in it. I was like genuinely thinking that's where the sentence was going.
I work cheap. That was really the reason why I'm in there. I had a really small budget to make this thing, and it was like, am I going to hire another actor, or am I just going to do something that I know how to do? That was basically what it came down to.
Well, it's a smart choice. I can't see anyone else playing.
Got an award for it, much to my own surprise. Apparently, somebody likes fat old balding actors.
That's your niche.
Yeah, I'm going to carve out a new niche. I'm going to be accepting all roles as J.K. Simmons' sibling.
They're going to hire you for Lex Luthor.
That's right. I'd be happy. Somewhere I've got a picture of me as Philip Marlowe, and somewhere, thanks Danzig. I've got a picture of me as Lex Luthor too, because I dressed up as Luthor for Halloween at the studio one year.
Nice.
They're looking for someone. I bet you.
You wanna tell us about this art that you sent me?
So Kenny Ashcraft is an artist in Texas. He's a commercial artist, and he just really I've known him for a long time, and he saw the trailer, and he got really excited. So I let him see the movie. So I'm keeping the movie under wraps because it's on the festival circuit now. We just won, and I'm waiting to get a good premiere spot. We just got 2 awards from Indie Fest for short film and lead actor. But I let Kenny see it, and he just went crazy. He just started sending me these drawings, and they're pretty cool. So I was talking to him about doing a comic book project a few years ago, and he I didn't ask him to do these. He just turned these off.
Night.
Yeah, with the boom mic hanging over on top. I think that's great.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's
and he paid attention to the bills in my glasses. That was my old house. I shot that in. That was one of the reasons I wanted to shoot it, was because I was moving, and I wanted to take advantage of the crappy house I was living in. So, but yeah, he does really nice stuff, and he's just really gone to town on these.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
it'd be really cool to see a comic book in the future. The last night of the Twilight, and then maybe get some prequel stories of the Golden Age.
I'm working on the festival circuit now, and then next year I may, depending on what happens with the festival circuit, I may take it out on the convention circuit, and then see about if I get enough interest, because raising the money for this, the Kickstarter, was really not easy. Doing the Kickstarter was more stressful than making the movie. So, I'm not sure I want to go through that again.
Especially you were on vacation when the deadline was coming up for the Kickstarter, right?
I was on vacation. Took my first vacation in 10 years, and it just turned out like when I had that happened to be the moment I had to start the Kickstarter to get it done that year.
Man, Do you have any idea when it's going to be out, like for general people to watch?
I'm waiting to see if I get into one big festival before I just open it up to everybody. Yeah. So I've got a few months on that now. I was looking today. I think I'm going to wait and see when I hear from Dances with Films in May and see where I go with it.
Nice.
When I hear from them, then I might just open it up.
Cool.
I can't make money off the movie itself. The contract I signed with the Screen Actors Guild, because it was a low budget thing, I can't make cash off the film, so I might as well just put it up for free when the festivals are done. And festivals are kind of hinky about whether, is it a premiere or not.
And then you can option it.
Right. Well, I've been reaching out to people trying to get somebody interested in representing me and the film. So I'm working on it.
Cool.
Well, I'm sure good things will happen. It's a great film.
Your lips to God's ears.
Brilliant. Well, we've gone through everything on the docket, and I think we're going to release Shaun.
Thank you. Shaun is going to go cook a Korean beef stir fry.
I got chicken tacos today. I made chicken tacos. Yeah, I was actually going to open the show with asking you guys what you had for lunch, but we opened it with this instead.
That's going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
But if I have anything to say about it, it will.
On that bombshell. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. This should be available as a podcast. You can follow Small Screen everywhere at Small Screen Co. You can get the podcast at the Small Screen Podcast. You can't follow me at EJ Lauder anymore. You can check out everything to do with Twilight at twilight.com. I believe that is the correct address. And we'll be here next week. Thank you very much, guys, for watching.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys. Bye.
You can follow me at 42.com.